Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. Initially, I wanted to do just a straight video on Ted Cruz. I told you I was going to come for you, buddy. I told you I was going to get to you. But there is just so much hype train on Lord Voldemort, Lord Sauron, Voldemort, the Dark One, he who will not be named, for his opponent for this coming up election. I mean, it's a lot of hype train. I mean, the polls are off the chains saying how the election is flipped. Don't get complacent. Don't get complacent. The only thing that matters is who shows up to vote. Okay? The polls could say that it's 100% or 99 to 1%. Doesn't matter if people don't show up to vote. So don't get complacent. Make sure you still show up to vote. Okay? Vote against the bad guy. And don't let his cronies off the hook. Get rid of them other MAGA Republicans, or again, you're going to have the same thing in a few years when they get another mogul to prop up. Okay? Tell you a secret, MAGA Nation, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it, not one bit. MAGA is the deep state. A couple of weeks ago, I told y'all, all you have to do is listen to what Republicans say, what these MAGA folks say. And it is 100% of the time something they've already done, something they are about to do, or something they are in the process of doing. Always. They've either already done it, about to do it, or in the process of doing it. One of those three. Okay? So, I find it both hilarious and sad that in some states, Trump can't vote for himself. I believe Florida. I believe Florida is one of those states where a felon can't vote, at least until after they've done parole. So he can't. I don't live in Florida, but I believe it's one of those states. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, don't get complacent, okay? And make sure you get those MAGA agents out, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and whatnot. Get all those crazy folks out, man, or don't let them in. All right. Now, I want to explain something, and I know people that personally, you guys know, I'm very conservative personally. When it comes to my household, my kids, I'm very conservative. But I'm extremely liberal when it comes to everybody else. I don't give two flips what my neighbor is doing. If this guy, if they want to do, not have babies, if they want to, legalize marriage, I don't care about none of that. It has no effect on me. You know why? Because I mind my damn business, okay? That's the problem with MAGA folks and conservative Christian Republicans. You're always trying to mind somebody else's business. Talking about, we are for small government and less, but you want the government to regulate all these things people are doing. Like the hypocrisy, like it doesn't make sense, okay? All right, enough of that. Now, let me get to Ted Cruz real quick, okay, before I go off, all right? Ted Cruz, Texas senator. First and foremost, he's been in Congress for too long. He's been getting paid in the shade for days, weeks, years, months. That he's been there too long, okay? I'm going to give you an example of some of the stuff that he's been up to. All right. Now I'm going to go back. We're going to go back 2016, 2017. He had a bill called the Educational Freedom Account Act. Now, for those of you that are sharp on the uptake and you watch some of my other videos, you're going to say, that sounds oddly familiar. You know why? Because it's vouchers. It's the voucher system from Project 2025. It's the same thing. All the way back in 2016, he was trying to get this passed in Texas. So when I told you that the MAGA folks are the deep state, it's because they've been doing stuff for years in the secret, in back rooms, shady, trying to make sure that it's all hush-hush, kept under so people don't know until it's too late. And I think some of the ladies caught on when they saw some of the stuff in this Project 2025. Ultimately, they want to eliminate women's suffrage. They want to have you not working and not able to vote unless you register for the draft, which most women don't. So they don't want you to vote. They want you barefoot and pregnant in front of the kitchen oven. I mean, you don't have to believe me. You can look up the Project 2025 stuff yourself. I mean, I can go over it if you really want, but anyway, Ted Cruz tried to get that Educational Freedom Account Act. He tried to do that twice, 2016, 2017. Didn't work, okay? So, what did he do? He changed it from an educational bill to a tax bill, and he called it Student Empowerment. Same game, different name. Same thing. He tried to pass that 5 times, okay? So now we're up to 7. He's been trying. He's been trying stuff, won't work. Trying stuff, didn't happen. He's been trying to do this for a minute. That's the deep state, okay? He also, now here's the one that should really catch your attention. He had one called the Capital Gains Inflation Relief Act. What is that? What are capital gains? Capital gains are investments, whether it's stocks or property, it's things that appreciate or gain value over time. And he wants a inflation relief for that. Currently, if you have capital gains under $250,000 as a single person or $500,000 as a married couple, it's not taxed. So who would this bill help? People that get capital gains of over $1 million or more. People like Ted Cruz. People like the folks that sponsor and donate to his campaign. Not for folks like you and me. I mean, I don't know too many people that have capital gains over $1 million and need inflation relief. Do you? All right. So, hopefully, this is established that this guy, he's not, when I tell you don't believe what they told you, believe what they showed you. Okay? This is what he's showing you. All right? Now, let's go over his record. In the 117th Congress, which was from 2021 to 2023, all right, Ted Cruz joined bipartisan bills. That means Democrats and Republicans said, hey, this is a good bill. Let's put this forward. He joined those, the third least out of all senators. There were only 2 senators that did that were bipartisan less than Ted Cruz. That means he's not trying to work with nobody. He's not interested in working with nobody. Okay? He introduced the 6th most bills at 103. In that 2 years, he introduced 103 bills. You want to know how many of them became law? How many of them passed and became law? 4. What's that tell you? That tells you that he's jet-setting around. He drops into Washington, throws something up against the wall, throws some crap up against the wall, sees if it sticks. He's not serious. He's not serious about this job. He introduced 103 bills, and only 4 of them became law. Like, what are you doing, bro? Okay? Attendance out of all senators, he was number 19 with of most absent in votes. Most absent. So what are you doing with all this jet setting? What are you doing with all this money? Like, all right. I mean, I think that's enough information for you to be like, huh, I didn't know that this guy was really about nothing. I mean, they got office names. They got office names for guys like this. You know, Kit Kat, always having a break. Butter knife, not the sharpest. Motion light, he's only working when somebody's walking by. Daisy, some daisies in, some daisies out. And my favorite, Justin, doing just enough not to get fired. 103 bills proposed, only 4 of them got passed into law. It doesn't sound like he's doing too good of a job. But there is a guy who is running, an opponent to Ted Cruz, who has, and again, I never tell you who to vote for. I only say who to vote against. And I'm saying vote against Ted Cruz this election cycle. There's a guy who is more popular than Beto, who ran against him last time. He's more popular in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston than Beto was. And he has a decent shot of unseating him. If you were tired of Ted Cruz and, you know, politicians like him that are really not worth the money that we're paying them, vote against them. Get them out so that we don't have to deal with these type of, let them know, send a message, let them know that we're not going to keep these people that aren't really worth their salt. Okay? Anyway, that's my video. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a good afternoon.